Hello, all aboard YouTube. My name is Brandon Hennis, and this is, of course, the YouTube report of Brandon, if you will. Apologies for my voice. It's been a little sour the last couple of days, but this particular YouTube post is a little bit of a shout-out post. Most people who follow wrestling, most people who, even if they don't follow wrestling, still know of this man, Jerry the King Lawler. And of course, those of you that have watched the YouTube videos, you know that he suffered a serious heart attack on air on Raw. Of course, you probably saw what happened on Raw. I gotta send best wishes out to him. And King, if you watch this video, this is from a person that grew up watching you as a youngster. I'm 25 now, and of course I watched him in 1996 as he was part of that commentary of that wild match. Was it 96? If I got the year wrong, I apologize. I've got a lot of health on my plate as well, so but it was a great commentary of great matches, and for somebody who's totally blind, I could sit there and watch, literally listen to the Raw coverage and know exactly what's going on because of how you call it. And you know, it's like for somebody who's totally blind, they rely on that, the ability to be able to watch a television set, because if they can't listen to it on the radio, listen to it on the television set and still get that kind of description, that's pretty good. Of course, sadly, as you guys know, Michael Coles, and you have to give props to Mike Coles, to be able to maintain in an hour afterwards what he had to do on top of. But I mean, the fact is, he could not. I mean, you could tell he couldn't do it emotionally. Jerry Lawler has meant a lot to a lot of people, and I tell you what, the get well wishes continue. It doesn't matter how many recuperation or how many people sent get well wishes messages when it initially happened. The fact of the matter is they still have to keep on coming. And I have to say, if anybody wants to email me in response, bhsprn@gmail.com is my original email address. And of course, don't forget that you can also listen to, or you can also send me another to email at any time, and hopefully I'll get it. Hopefully. There's no guarantee. As to how quickly I'll respond sometimes due to that. So if you want to, follow me on Twitter. It's KeyboardPlayer2. I have to tell you guys, another interesting thing. This is just interesting. Watching some of these old matches, you know, going back to the 80s, you know, the David Letterman thing, of course, the old Gilbert, Eddie Gilbert situation. What ended up being a interesting phone conversation with, what was it, Lance Russell, I believe it was, that turned into a brawl between Jerry the King Lawler and Eddie Gilbert. And I was rather impressed with the audio. But again, to Jerry the King Lawler, because that's where this video is directed to, you get well, and hopefully if I followed you properly on Twitter, you should see it. It's KeyboardPlayer2 for those of you who would like to follow. I'm not your world's best writer, much less the best talker in the universe when I do talk. Might be rather chatty, but that's just the nature of me. I'll do a video about me at some point, and you guys get a chance to see it, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I should tell you, if there's any champion in my mind, you don't have to be a champion of wrestling to be a champion in life. And a gentleman that has accomplished that in the wrestling business as well as in other forms that he's done it is Jerry the King Lawler. That's one example. Now, I know you follow wrestling, but this is another thing too. Talk about other champions. You know, it just goes to show you, you know, you can't take life for granted. You know, people often say to me, Brandon, what's your number one goal in life? My number one goal in life has always been motivate people and to be motivated. We all need that motivation, you know, no matter what it is. And we certainly appreciate all that everybody has done, sending out prayer wishes and Twitter requests to Jerry the King Lawler. And it's to you, my friend, that we say, that I at least hear, from Iowa back to you in Tennessee. And by the way, I've tried that Tennessee Mountain Dew, and I'll bet you'll be the first. I bet you'll agree. Anybody that's been in Tennessee can tell you, can tell me anyway. Is that not? So far, that's the best Mountain Dew that I've ever tasted. But anybody who's in that area, that's what it is. All right, well, here you are, folks. Take care, and again, get well. To the Wrestling Hall of Famer, legendary broadcast voice of Raw, and of course, I call him the commentator and wrestler deluxe, the King, Jerry the King Lawler. Get well, and may you recover soon.
Full stop.